All right, sure. I'll rotate around. I was looking at the church, but I was looking northward, so I'll look south. If that's what you mean.
Yep. So I'm gonna be looking over the train. I'll be looking from the train tracks. If you want to look from the, guess the canal crossing. And here we go. So it looks like 7 Cav is opening up with their supply truck going right towards town center. 7 Cav is also armor heavy, currently fielding 3 armor, maybe 4 armor pieces, and a troop transport.
All right. I'm just gonna address this. We got a compliment on our commentary. I'm sorry I may disappoint you, Adam Mob.
It's all good.
So
So it looks like 7 Cav is getting markers down to try to strike artillery down on those crossroads, pretty much the main crossroads, G5, coming into town center, as they make their way up.
yeah, it looks like there's a single. Ooh, they got a transport truck stuck on the road with a tank and a supply truck following behind. It looks like for the 107th.
Yep, it looks like 107 is actually quick to the gun. They already got Second Lieutenant Night Fox getting up on the line.
Oh, they got hit by Artie.
Ooh, wow. That was a monster
That is
a nice
artillery
shot.
strike.
brutal. Oh, that totally destroyed their push right there.
Wow. So great, great artillery early
I'd say
on.
that tank has no problem getting past that transport truck. He just plowed right through it. Nearly, just about got hit by artillery there.
Yep, so yet to see anyone get into town center. But it looks like some of the 7 Cav forces are starting to creep into the zone with no sign of the 107th at this point.
Hey, Rob, make sure to hit home twice if you still have the admin camera and all that little UI stuff up.
Yeah, I usually don't even worry about it, but we can shut that down if we want. I'm also gonna make sure I have everything highlighted and hitting home twice. Cool.
Yeah, I see Sergeant Goal and Specialist John just peering into view now. It looks like they're more on the north side. This Artie from the 7th Cav has been brutal, it seems like, right now.
Well, they're certainly hitting. We got a Panther and a Tiger right in the midst of that Artie. And down the road for the 7th Cav is a lonely Stewart on the point.
Yeah, I wish the tanks were highlighted a bit more because I don't see that Stewart at all.
Yeah, he's sitting right in the middle of town center. But
Yeah,
it looks like a Panther and a Tiger are kind of wedged themselves together in the street.
Oof.
looks like that Stewart has been destroyed.
Likely
Wow.
one shot from the Tiger.
Yeah, Jinto popped out at the tank right there, so now I know where they're at.
It took
Oh, no,
pretty long
the
time.
Stewart's still there.
Yeah, it took a pretty long time for both teams to make their way in. Neither team, after 6 minutes of combat, has gotten into the town center. It looks like both artillery and tank pincer maneuvers have been super effective at slowing teams down. Looks like 107th and 7th Cav are starting to make their way into the point, with early cap going to the 7th Cav.
Nice work on their part. That Artie in the beginning, that was some of the best Artie I think I've ever seen the 7th Cav actually lay down. So compliments to that guy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like 7 Cav is taking a 2-squad pronged approach. One squad's going direct into town center, where the other one's trying to secure the railroad. Meanwhile,
Same thing with 107th a little bit. They've got 2 squads pushing down 2 different streets right now. Actually, make that 3. One's going more the direct route.
And the artillery is just brutal. It makes it so hard to get into the town because it's just so funneled.
Looks like that Tiger and Panther are just going to sit on the road, pound into the town center with their main guns.
Yeah, 7th Cav is definitely they've taken the north side of the point. They've taken positions in the point. Now it's just a matter of them establishing a bit more. But now they've got to attack customs, which would be fairly difficult considering they'll have to cross the river somehow if they decide to even do that.
Yeah, and at this time, looking at the garrison placement, looks like we have 4 or 5 garrisons, 6 garrisons placed on the 7th Cav team. How are we looking at garrisons and outposts for 107th?
107th have 2 garrisons set up right now. One's right behind customs, and the other one is... Oh, make that 3. They've got one right behind customs. They've got another one at G45 line. Yeah, keypad 9 or so, or 8. And then they've got another one in G6, keypad 6.
Meanwhile, it looks like the 107th attempted a southern flank that has been sniffed out by a 7 Cav SL and sniper team, and they're calling in artillery. But the focus, it seems like, for the 107th is really attacking from that north side, church side of the objective.
Man, a bombing run would be devastating right now. If the 7th Cav just called one in on this road to the east of town center, it would just destroy the 107th presence on the point.
Looks like the action here for the Tiger and the Panther. Seeing that Tiger get lit up a few times. They're taking some AD shots, possibly. I know that Stuart was nearby. We gotta give them credit. They're Panther and Tiger. They're sticking together.
Do you have Rob? Are you watching customs right now or no?
No, I'm currently watching
I'll
Town
move
Center.
to customs.
Okay, yeah, there's only the 7 Cav Recon team on customs at the moment.
Yeah, but I can at least pick up on some of the flank action from where I'm at now.
Okay, I'm going to shift my focus then, so I'm covering the wide view on Town Center. Try to cover as much of the action. So 7 Cav going for a pretty wide approach. It looks like about 1 squad in the zone with 2 squads on either flank. Meanwhile, 107th is focusing a majority force directly into the point onto Town Center. Now, Town Center is an interesting strong point. Sparrow, I would say you're actually the expert at defending Town Center. There's a number of houses that give you an overwhelmingly advantageous position to hold the point. So Town Center is probably the hardest to get.
We're getting a good standoff here between Williamson's. Oh, never mind. The standoff is over. It was a 75 versus a Tiger down the street.
Yeah,
the 75 lost it.
There's a tank. I can't tell if it's 7th Cav or 107th from where I'm at. Pushing near the river.
Check your map.
We do have a 7th Cav tank pushing. It's Profeno and Butcher coming down from the north. Looks like they're positioning to get in behind the Tiger, and the Stuart just charged the Tiger through the smoke.
What a monster!
Oh,
I hope you're getting that close up.
I don't know what.
Oh,
the Stuart
no!
is gone.
That's probably not where you want to go.
That was a gutsy move, but the Tiger just in his reaction blew up a bunch of his own troopers by shooting the ground, and now the Tiger's down.
Oh, artillery comes in.
Medium tank. No, it was the Sherman coming down the street on their right.
So do you think that was a distraction maneuver by the Stuart to just draw that Tiger out?
That was absolutely a distraction maneuver.
Wow.
Now they're looking for the Panther, but they've got Classic Dave trying to get a satchel onto Profeno and Butcher's tank, but they're going to keep moving, and they've run him over.
Wow.
That was exciting.
That's if we go back and make a highlight reel, I hope you got a good image of that, because we all want to talk smack to Jinto, and then Jinto's like, I meant to do it.
That was like perfect timing. Now Profeno and Butcher are trying to get their tank out of there, taking AT fire from the rear, and they're coming up on the backside of that Panther, and this will be another good showdown. The Panther took its first shot and missed.
Yeah, it looks like
Profeno and Butcher, they hit the fence. Neither side, they seem to be panicking. Artillery just hit oh no, that was a satchel charge on the Panther. And looks like Profeno, they're just trying to flip the Panther around.
I gotta say, Demoot and Prajant right now are keeping the enemy busy. There's 2 squads defending customs right now. Demoot's across the river. Prajant's more on the point, just harassing them,
Yeah.
leading
This
them
is-
on this wild chase.
Profano and Butcher are just pushing the Panther around. I think the Panther's just trying to regain any kind of control, but they weren't able to do so, and the Panther goes boom.
Wow, I hope you got the close up of that, McLaren.
That was, oh yeah, I got full image or full video of both those Tiger fights. That was, that's some crazy tank fighting on Carentan.
Yeah. Now,
Butcher and Profano are going to pull back for repairs, and I'll adjust to get some of this infantry
yeah.
combat.
Meanwhile, it looks like 107th is starting to make a push into town center, and it looks like they're starting to win their gunfights and making good progress indirect. Meanwhile, that artillery still seems to be chipping them down. So what's going to be interesting here is you can see we got about 4 or 5 guys going into town center from 107th versus 2LT Adler and Sergeant Wolf in that advantageous house position, which is just so hard to get people out of. So we're looking for Classic Dave, who we know now has the satchel charge kit, to see what he can do to dismantle or dislodge some of those infantry from that advantageous housing position.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Prajant and Demu have harassed the 107th enough that they've decided to call in a Panther to try and root him out.
So
Of all things.
I'm actually surprised the 107th hasn't started to get in some cap progress, as they are starting to get into the zone, and they've won their gunfights, it looks like, on the church side of town center, and they're starting to make a really aggressive push into the point. So it'll be interesting to see how the 7th Cav is able to react, as both armor assets for both teams seems to be more or less down at this moment.
Grenades are being chucked. I just watched a whole squad of 107th get wiped out on the town center point. But Classic Dave running up on his own. Is he going to get a satchel on Wolf, Adler, and Longwell? No, he's going for the supplies.
And that's a really vet move by Classic Dave, because getting those supplies down, everything, right?
Now he's clearing the house out. He's got 2 allied troops down, and he's cleared the house with Sergeant Wolf and Second Lieutenant Adler.
Yep, and we're starting to see cap progress go towards the 107th on town center, as the 107th are pretty viciously winning their gunfights on point.
Yeah, where is the 7th Cav position on point? Because it looks like Classic Dave is set up at the alley house, but I don't know where any of the 7th Cav.
We've only got Corporal Hilton in one of the houses on the corner house near the church. But he's got a whole squad pushing him now. Classic Dave just went down. Looks like Specialist Longwell and First Sergeant Komar coming up the street.
Yeah, as far as town center is concerned, I said this in my last video, I'll say it now again. There's really 3 main points you want to control, and that's the corner house going towards church, the alley house, which is the house right next to the alley. It's a 2-story building with a bit of a long entryway, or a long street side view onto things. And then my squad's always called it the Vim's house, but there's a house going towards the American side. It's like a 3 or 4-story house that has Vims on the side of it, and it has a position from the roof that allows you to shoot down onto the German advance. So it's kind of key. The Germans need to have it just to deny the Americans from having it.
Looks like First Sergeant Komar has got his squad back in. Specialist Longwell checking the street corner as they try to push back into the town center, reclaiming the building that wiped them out, or that was wiped out by Classic Dave.
Corporal Gibbs by himself is in a factory building fighting off the 107th as they converge onto his position.
Meanwhile, we see the 107th is keeping good constant pressure on that center town point. They were very close to forcing the 7 Cav to completely collapse, but it seems like the 7 Cav has been able to react and get control over the church and town center.
We got a bombing run coming in by the church from 107th, going down that street.
And that probably will see massive effectiveness, as it looks like the 7th Cav squad might be starting to shift one of their defensive squads towards customs. or at least spreading out. So they collapsed in and spread back out. Meanwhile, the 107th is keeping a very firm and direct attack with overwhelming force into town center. Ooh, there's a bombing run. Looks like it might have caught a friendly or two. We'll see if it can get any of the 7th Cav.
Most of the 7th Cav are sitting back a bit in the house, so I don't think it got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, it looks like 7th
Maybe
Cav.
one or two.
Maybe one friendly for 107th and one enemy 7th Cav went down in that bombing run. But again, we're seeing really good map control on town center from 107th as they regain that position. And it looks like one of the 7 Cav attacking squads have more or less completely abandoned the town center, and now we're seeing 107th take 2 angles of approach to start to take down town center.
Yeah, it looks like 7th Cav is actually pushing onto customs now.
Yeah.
Whether or not they'll actually be able to take that point is another story. How's 7th Cav looking for garrisons and stuff?
Well, currently there is cap progress going down towards town center from 107th. The 7 Cav does still have a pretty commanding garrison game with about 4 in the vicinity of town center and 1 able to push onto customs.
Corner building closer to the church was just wiped out by the 107th, so now it's going to be a fight across the houses in the town center.
Yeah, 1 sec. We got 1 trooper from 7 Cav out of bounds. Gonna call him back. Hey, Chaos, you're out of bounds, bro. Can you come back in, please? Thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, that's been resolved.
By the way, it's Chow. The S is his first name.
I love it. Meanwhile, 107th have a commanding presence on the point.
Yeah, 7th Cav is actually eliminating multiple people on the point. They've taken out the garrison that was on customs, so they're in a good position to
looks like
potentially take it.
Looks like we're going to get another short tank duel. I don't think the 75 can see the Tiger driving away. The Tiger's taken a few points of damage, but the 75 came up to reinforce the objective.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
as the Tiger tries to pull off.
107th actually has gotten most of the outposts down on town center from the 7 Cav, as they have a squad flanking in the rear and 2 from the front. I would say 7 Cav right now is in. Even though the cap progress is starting to go back towards their direction, map control is definitely in the favor of 107th at the moment.
So that Tiger I said that was running away was spotted, and it is now a pile of rubble. AT is starting to hit the 75 on town center. The fighting's getting really hairy here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the 107th have more or less encircled the allied position on town center. It looks like the 107th could make a play here for town center.
And I got 2 guys back to back, Night Fox and Hilton, on either side. They're lying down next to each other, but neither of them see each other. See how long it takes for them to notice that how close they are.
7th Cav is pushing through the point now. Whether or not they're actually able to take out these OPs is another story, but they are making progress onto the point.
And that's what we're seeing from 107th, that they're doing very effectively right now. It looks like they've been able to wipe and secure most of the southern edge of town center, so the 7 Cav has been forced to push back to the north side.
Now, what I've noticed in this match from the one we had earlier, there's a much larger use of smoke in the town center. I think it's really affecting how they fight, but we just saw Jinto and his 75 get blown up. Looks like we got a German tank down the street. Yep, it's a Panther. Blocked off by a couple destroyed tanks shooting into the town center.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like the 7 Cav it's amazing. Both teams have actually flanked each other from behind and pushed themselves to do like a reverse. So it looks like now the 7 Cav is starting to wipe the OPs of the assaulting 107th as the entire front has shifted, and now it's really tough as the attackers, right? The 107 have that perfect multiple angled assault, just as you want, get those OPs, but just with the game mechanics, it's really difficult with your assault because you lose that outpost and your assault is almost gone. Whereas with 7 Cav, they have enough defensive garrisons that they're able to withstand the loss of an outpost or 2. So even though some really excellent play from 107th to get in behind and secure most of those outposts, it seems like the 7 Cav has been able to react.
And here we got the Cav trying to clear a building on the town center. There's still one trooper from 107th holding out up top.
Who's Sergeant Ghoul with? Sergeant Ghoul just a 2-man squad? No, he's got multiple people. Sergeant Ghoul is like in a warehouse on point with Private Sage here, just holding out.
Looks like a grenade just ripped apart a ton of bodies inside this house. Dornbrier had been checking out the back door, and all that's left in that house is Captain Hyuga from the 107th.
Oh, and kudos to Captain Hyuga, clan lead for the 107th, getting after it, keeping them going, and really excited to have them joining us for this event. You can see this is a really great match, and one of our primary goals here is to introduce a system where teams can figure out where they match up against other teams and to play like-minded and similarly skilled teams. So I foresee in the future this would be another really great matchup to see a repeat. Just already early on in the match, both teams are strangling, holding each other for the cap points.
I'd just like to add on that as you started to give him kudos, unfortunately, he took a few bullets to the front chest as Preacher and his squad cleared out that house he was hiding up in.
I think Sergeant Ghoul's just taken out like 3 different people holding out in this church by himself.
Meanwhile, 107th has changed their approach. They're still putting ample pressure on the 7 Cav now from their rear side. I'm assuming they must have come in from an airhead, or maybe they got a flanking garrison in on that backside. But they're successfully putting 2 points of pressure on town.
We got just off to the west, Private Flanders and Private First Class IQ Ball. He just went down, but they're being held back by Second Lieutenant Adler and Hilton, who are covering that flank on the street. Flanders right next to the house that Adler and Hilton are post up in.
Where's Gibbs's OP at?
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Let me see what
He's all the way on the right.
I gotta see what squad leader he is. Gibbs is... He is George's squad lead, and George's, it's in H4.
Oh, Jinto and Stoik are back in the Stuart. They took a shot from AT and got spun around. I think they're in a bit of danger.
Yeah, 7th Cav is pushing on this point with in force. It looks like Sergeant Ghoul is looking to place his OP up in the north here, while the rest of his squad's more on point.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the assault on town center has done about a 180 flip as the 107th is actually starting to assault from the back lines of the 7 Cav, and the 7 Cav is reacting and pushing forces to cover the choke points into town center.
And just when I thought that Private First Class Anthony A was going to miss Lieutenant Touchdown Jesus, he turned around and shot him. They were standing facing the same direction, right next to each other. And now he's not paying attention. He's got the commander coming up behind him on the opposite side. Private First Class Anthony A has taken out the German commander and looks like he's moving up to clear out a garrison placed down on the point.
Yeah, meanwhile, 107th is starting to actually get another 2-pronged approach as it doesn't seem like the 7 Cav has been able to answer that rear side garrison the 107th has, which is mainly where they're making that assault from. So map control is going now towards 107th as they encircle the 7 Cav position on point.
Private Dobbs here taking out an assault onto customs on his own. He's taken out at least 2 guys. He's been taken out himself now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see it looks like 107th is actually getting into town center, and they're getting pretty successful, at least a squad size element, into the point as they enter into the one primary house. Satchel charges. Gotta get those satchel charges in to clear it out. It's so difficult to house clear in HLO.
I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it looks like Gibbs' squad has been pushed back off customs. The last trooper remaining was Anthony A, and he just got wiped out. He had 5 guys pushing down on him. but he was able to take out a garrison, the enemy commander. But nope, Gibbs' squad is back. They must have their OP up nearby, and they're keeping the pressure up.
Yeah, meanwhile, on point, 107th has a very commanding presence on both north and south side, now pressuring the 7th Cav position on town center. The 7th Cav is doing everything they can to hold on to those key building positions.
Yeah. 7th Cav is pushing through customs again and slowly taking out people left and right.
Yeah, I will say so far we've seen cap progress from 107th, and just now we're starting to see the cap progress onto customs from the 7th Cav. So it'll be interesting to see what the reaction is here, because what we've seen so far in this tournament, that the second you start to get that cap progress, the teams that have been able to withstand getting that last cap have almost immediately redeployed and reaffirmed that defensive front.
Yeah, but it looks like they only have one other garrison near the point, and 7th Cav is almost right on top of it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the
Like
100
Ackleson's about to take it out.
yeah 107th just had some cap progress onto town center, but it looks like 7 Cav is reinforcing the point with an additional squad element.
Yeah. So there are no more garrison. There's a garrison near customs. A reinforce just went down.
They do have an OP I saw not too far, but that might be even that. Yeah, that's about all I see for the German side.
Yeah.
It's a close fight. It's a good fight here at customs.
Yeah, they've got two OPs near the point that are lit up red right now, and another one further back.
Yeah. And it's a really hard call right now if you're the commander for either side, because you're getting cap progress on both points. So 107th has worked so hard to try to secure this town center, and it's a really hard call to want to give up on that assault. And it looks like their defensive is holding up at the 107th's customs.
Yeah,
we've got.
I wonder if the 7th Cav knows that they can go take out the garrison at I3. I don't know if they know about it or not. But I feel like the Boots had opportunity and just not done it.
The cap was just cleared out of the factory building here on customs. Last trooper remaining was Heberlig, and I think he either hit a mine, but it looks like reinforcements are quickly pushing back in as we come outside, and a Panther. I didn't quite catch this, but there's a Panther that was destroyed as it entered into the customs complex.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the 107th is maintaining their southern and northern positions as 7th Cav has reinforced the town center and have pretty clear map control on town center itself. 107th has been able to successfully intercept and prevent friendly or U.S. armor assets from reinforcing town center. So great defense from the 107th, able to re-secure customs.
Looks like the 107th have gotten that garrison back up in the same position that was taken down, as well as a Tiger approaching the objective. He's currently fighting off the recon squad and First Sergeant Perjean and Staff Sergeant Demute, who just got taken out as their tankers hopped out.
Can I get a check on Private Chaos?
Ciao.
Private
Chaos.
I don't see where he is.
I see him right now. He's on the line. Oh no, that's the mute on the line. Chaos is...
Where? I don't see anyone even close to the line. Where's Chaos?
On that ping.
He's right by the river.
Okay. McLaren, you want to just keep... McLaren, can you do me a solid? You want to keep an eye on that, and I'll keep an eye on town center fight?
Yep.
I've got customs.
Yeah.
He's pulling up a bit. It looks like Chow is trying to sneak up on that Tiger tank and probably try to put a satchel down on him, but the Tiger has turned to engage him, which opened up to AT fire on the Tiger's right flank.
Yeah, so McLaren, just keep an eye on the map and let's make sure there's good boundaries there. I'll keep an eye on town center.
Yeah,
Yeah, so far he's good.
there are 2 tanks now from the 107th, a medium and a heavy, to try and defend the point.
The Tiger's taking some hits. He's currently engaged with some AT just across the river, but he got infantry moving to assist. And it looks like we got artillery starting to drop down on top of him.
I imagine that's 7 Cav artillery, or
Yeah, it's hitting the German positions.
If you hit T McLaren, you can see if they have artillery marks down. That should suggest
I
who it
haven't
is.
seen. No, I don't think I can because I'm a trooper in your section.
Oh, that's true.
So I can only see the marks that you would put down.
Good point.
But that's okay. That's okay.
we know for next time, create your own squads.
I just figured I'd hop in so we're not taking up space.
Yeah, you can have an infinite number of infantry squads.
That's true. Tigers advancing now onto customs. They just took 1 shot on the left flank and have reacted quickly to turn and face off against PFC Rabbit, Private Chaos, and Private First Class Anthony, all trying to get that tank's attention.
It's Private Chow, according to you.
According to me. Nah, we actually do call him Chaos sometimes.
Yeah, it's because Choi and Chow are in the same squad. So we have to Chaos.
Sometimes
is his nickname.
it's just Chaos in our armor divisions.
Meanwhile, the 107th has once again established 3 points of pressure onto town center.
I really find it interesting that the 7th Cav has elected to go with 2-man tanks for this match. I'm glad they've finally done it, but I'm very surprised by it at the same time.
Yeah, I think the 2 to 3 man tank debate is fair. It goes either way. Sometimes that third person armor can be effective, sometimes the second. It really just comes down if you can continuously field 4 tanks or 3 tanks with 2 men and not lose enough that you run out of fuel. So if we look at the fuel right now, the 7 Cav still has plenty of fuel to keep those tanks going.
Oof. Yeah, and the 107th, their manpower is all the way gone.
So is the Cav. Looks like we just the Cav only has some fuel and munitions left.
I mean, what are they doing on resource generation for the Cav?
Just want to point out that we're approaching the 10-minute mark left in the match.
Good call out. I'm going to throw that up.
And the Tiger just got taken out. They just took 1 too many AT shots to the side and the back. But it has provided the 107th enough time to re-secure customs.
Yeah, and it looks like a tank's just been taken out near customs.
Yeah, that was the Tiger.
Yeah, I gotta say the 7th Cav doing really well here. I just need eyes on where they're necessarily coming from. It looks like they've set up an OP near.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're seeing reinforcements from the 107th now putting in a pressure onto town center. So you see it's about maybe 3 squad elements from 7 Cav defending. Meanwhile, we see about equal numbers, 3 to 4 squad elements from the 107th trying to get in there.
Classic Dave was back in on the streets of town center, but unfortunately he wasn't able to survive much longer. Corporal Haven came on and quickly put an end to his assault on the house.
I can't wait until Classic Dave, you watch this video and realize one satchel charge, you kill like 3 outposts and like 20 dudes and be a hero. He's gotten there so many times.
I'd say he's been killing it, coming in and clearing out a house on his own. Just needs a few extra guys to back him up at some point.
Meanwhile, it looks
a
like
good fight.
7 Cav artillery just marked one of the outposts and or garrison spawns that the 107th is using to attack the rear flank.
Private Sage.
Customs is starting to fall into 7th Cav hands again.
Yeah. Item for 7 Cav is goal section. McLaren, can you check that outpost that's right on the line? Let's just double check that it is on the right side of the line. Do you see items outpost from the 7
Yeah,
Cav?
I've scrolled in as far as I can on the map.
It looks like they're about to.
It is on the map on our side. There's a corner of the icon that's crossed over.
Okay, but a physical outpost is on the correct side of the map.
That's why I'm trying to find it now.
Okay. And then you can use your pings to identify. Meanwhile, the 107th do have a pretty commanding assault going on town center.
I'll be honest, I don't even see the outpost here.
Okay.
Oh no, there it is. There it is. It's on the road.
I'm gonna put in team chat for goal to try to move it back a little bit, just because it is
Yeah,
on the line.
it's borderline on the line. Like it could go either way. So I would, because when they spawn in,
we got a
when they
bombing
spawn
run
in,
coming in from the 107th going across the field right now. It's not. It's only gonna hit this tank.
That's sometimes all you need.
Except it
Yeah,
missed.
they're-
So this is a really critical point for the 107th, because if they're able to hold customs in the last 2 minutes, that's a huge difference in the game, right? Because that goes from being, you know, having to come back and capture all the way back to
Yeah,
tie
but they're
it.
about to lose it right now.
Oh, big
Um,
capture.
There it goes.
Right as it looks like the attack on town center was materializing too. All right, well, I guess now we have 2 minutes left. Oh, that's a really critical time to have that cap, because with 2 minutes left, it becomes extraordinarily difficult to get that recap.
2 minutes. I'm counting 7 on the timer.
Oh yeah, 7 minutes left. My fault.
Yeah. Yeah. That outpost, when they spawn in, they'll spawn in out of bounds.
Okay. It looks like he's removed and moved the outpost, so it should be good.
Yeah.
All right. Large force of Germans have popped up just outside of customs. They got a supply truck coming in. Probably trying to get a garrison set up closer.
I gotta say, the 7 cap tanks have been doing work.
Okay, I'm gonna adjust my focus back towards customs to help McLaren make sure we keep everyone honest on the lines.
Yeah. I'm looking south right now.
South? Okay, I'll go hit the north side. So now 107, they do have plenty of time. They got that 6 minutes to come back and attack, and the 7 Cav can't really assault their last objective due to the rule set. So this is where I'm really excited to see what can happen, because if you don't have to worry about any defense, man, does it make it easier and open up a lot of your attacking capabilities.
You gotta realize that though too, because we saw it in a few other matches where, you know, they only had to worry about assaulting and they still couldn't push in, because it's the same thing goes for the other side. If you only got to worry about defense, you can really dig in and make it a tough spot to crack. For what I'm seeing here on customs, it's going to be hard getting across that open field. We got Stormin, Mormon, and Yuan wins.
Sparrow, can you alert the 107th that the cap on railway is a recon element, therefore it is fair game? Just alert them that is a legitimate cap. That is from a recon element.
Stormin Mormon trying to push into customs complex against Gibbs in his section. Quickly snuffed out by the defensive squad.
Yep. Meanwhile, the commander, Lieutenant Osadias, getting around the back. And then you can see it looks like they've been, even though with that tank trying to cover that garrison, it looks like Lieutenant Night Fox and his crew has been able to overrun and really put the pressure on that armor asset.
It looks like we had a satchel charge go off just outside the complex, because I saw a couple Cav members go down, and that we were definitely too far away for an artillery shell or a grenade to have taken them out.
Yeah, the 7th Cav defense right now is really materializing around the buildings in customs, it seems like. There's nobody really on the south side of the point across the river from where I'm at.
Yep.
Taking
and
up the complex.
Sparrow, would you like to give the warning mark for time?
Looks
Yeah,
like we
how
got
much is left?
We got Profeno and Butcher going up against a couple AT guys. I see 3 marked, 2 right next. 1 has gone down. As the squad leader and an engineer, Wombo, is trying to approach, and I would guess he's trying to put a satchel down on the 75. But the 75 sees him, takes him out, and all that's left is the SL for the 107th Night Fox, hiding in behind the 75.
Sparrow, we're looking at about 3 minutes.
All right, I got it in there.
Looks like
Night Fox has put an OP up behind the 75. He's trying to get his AT in behind the tank. I don't know if they'll have enough time though, because it looks like the 75 is moving out.
A lot of smoke going down now. It looks like the 107th have mainly taken up positions in the trench system, but they've got a tank rolling up on them now, so
yeah.
they
Well,
can be easily routed.
I think one thing that's really been apparent the last couple matches has been that armor superiority can make a huge difference. Like it becomes really challenging to assert dominance over armor or your position when you get those armors in the open field.
Well, here we got the 107th have set up an AT gun, and the 75's approaching the side of the Tiger. I don't think they see the AT gun. They're going to go right in front of the AT gun as the Tiger turns.
Oh, and they clash.
But the AT isn't even aiming at the tank. They're not paying any attention to the 75 that has rolled up on them. There they go, and the 75 got taken out. The AT, Corporal Cronin got the last shot on the 75. That was a gutsy move.
All right, we're at the 2-minute mark.
Sergeant Wolf here, looking to make a move on this tank, it looks like.
So let's keep a good eye on the time as we get in within 2 minutes. And
I'm going to do a quick scroll through the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Bombing run from 7th Cav here. Not in a great spot.
Yeah, I'm going to also do a score check now with no cap progress in under 2 minutes. That probably will be the end of the first round.
Tiger's starting to take some shots. Looked like Corporal Hayden might have gotten a satchel down on the tank. He was close enough as pulled off.
Yeah, and we're going to hit the 1 minute mark. And Sparrow will give you about 10-second, 15-second countdown to flip the map.
2 Tigers have approached the cap now. We got 2 Tigers and an AT gun for the 107th. Trying to push that last little push in. Not giving up even in the last minute.
Nobody's on the anti-tank.
They just hopped off, I think, because they realized they got their guys pushing up.
Yeah, it looks like the 7th Cav is just essentially turtled inside the point here. But that's all they really need to do.
Yep, Sparrow, we're at 30 seconds if you want to get ready to flip the map here.
Yep.
Some good action. 2
So,
Tigers shooting in.
I'm excited for the next round because I think the Allies have a good advantage here with their firepower for the Carentan fight. So I think 107th with the Allies really have an opportunity here. So Sparrow, we're at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, flip. So for this one, the 7 cap should now be on. So we can do the double map flip.
And then the 5 minute.